Good. Here we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our post-conference first Tuesday night Zoom back. I am Dee, and we're here with some of the ESI Life crew. So we're just going to be talking about what our biggest takeaways were from the weekend. That was our biggest Australian conference ever, which was pretty full on. The hype and the vibe in the room and the way they set it out was pretty amazing. So that in itself was just a really good thing to see. The opening I thought was amazing with the Aboriginal dancers and the tribute to them, and them just thanking everything that they do for Juice Plus, which was really amazing. And I've had a bit of feedback on that I shared live, so that was pretty cool, of people saying, oh, what is it that Juice Plus actually does for the Aboriginal community? So then I got to tell all about the amazing stuff that we do, which is pretty cool. So what I wanted to lead with was, as we know, the business and the company and the teams have just exploded in the last few years. And I think we're really privileged this year to have John Blair join us, who's the Senior Vice President, the man behind putting the powder into the capsules. So he's been around for a long time, 20 years in the company. So it was really great to have him there sharing, that little bit of history with a lot of people in the room who probably didn't know that story. There's a few of us, that have been around for a little bit longer that have heard it, and so great to just hear that that's where they still want to keep the company going, is that solid background of the product and the quality of the product. So I really love hearing all that side of it. So I think my little hashtag from the weekend is longevity in the company. It's 47 years old. Juice Plus as a product itself is 23, 24 years old. So it's something that's really stood the test of time. And the other side of the longevity that I love is that I'm seeing the leaders there, like our wonderful Sheila, who's jumped on to join us tonight, who've been in the business for quite a while and still just simmering away and building a really solid foundation in their business, and not caring if they don't make it in 2.5 seconds with 1,000 people that they've got spoken to or whatever. Because I know in our team that's really what we pride ourselves on. We're not running with the herd, we're just staying true and walking one step at a time. And I know sometimes that can get really frustrating for everyone, and myself included, but I think everyone's got to be congratulated for staying in line and staying true to the heart that's part of this team. And I think that's a really big thing as well. And that was the other part. The other takeaway that I got from conference myself was that to see our team there just absolutely engaged and spending time with them and having that heart and soul, just I could see it written all over everyone's faces how much they loved being there together and how much I got from that. It was just incredible. And that's why I just love doing what I'm doing, because for me, one of my top values is community, and to have that tribe that is just so on the same path as me is just such a joy, and I just love that. So definitely longevity and community, my two biggest takeaways there. So I think to open it up to the rest of the girls tonight, we're going to get straight in and share with Sheila and see what she's got as her biggest takeaways and some little insights on her longevity in the business as well. So thanks, Sheila.
Oh, you're welcome. I have to be very honest, I haven't gone back over my notes. I tried to today, but it's just, I've got so many. But I just think you're right, Dee. It was just such a phenomenal conference. I think it has to be one of the best yet. And it was just that feeling you got. And what I loved was, again, I loved John Blair. I mean, what a man of 70 years of age and with such foresight, still at the age of 70, as he brings in Brené Brown as part of a leadership program in the US.
Yes.
I just think it's phenomenal what he's doing and what he's still doing. And I loved the mission statement. I used to work corporate, and mission statements are always so, you sat around a room and it's like you put buzzwords like what sounds good. And this was purely from the heart. And again, just that whole company with a heart. And the longevity, as you say, we're here for the long haul. And the other thing I loved was that how they brought in the Direct Sales Association and just having people from the outside come in and train, and people like Mitch Bean. I thought, he was fabulous. Like the whole training around, and a lot of it is, and a lot of what people touched on was, compassion for yourself first and foremost,
Yes.
and love yourself first and foremost before you go out into this into the world of sharing, because that has to be so solid. And Linda touched on it, and Adam and Kira touched on it, and I think it's the hardest thing that we all struggle with is compassion for ourselves. And me being in the business 6 years, and hitting Q right at the 11th hour was just phenomenal. And but a lot of it is having compassion for myself first and foremost, which is something that I've had to learn, because I haven't been the fastest cab off the rank. It wasn't my first conference. I wasn't in MD, and it's like, it blows me away, and it's phenomenal what they're doing, and I just absolutely love it. But it's also it hasn't been my journey, and that's where I can really I really could relate to everything that they were saying about the compassion and love for yourself, because you fall into the different areas as you go, with your struggles, which is the comparison. I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be doing this. Who am I to do this? And that's all, that's self-sabotage. But then when you just go back into a place of compassion and love for yourself, then you fill your cup up, and you can go on again. So that was my they were my big ones. Was just that it was just, look, I loved it, and I love John Holowati. He just makes me laugh, and I just love his humility, and be more, and I think that's what we do, and it's and by being more, and for those that weren't there, is you're staying in line. And he's someone who hasn't hit the big time quickly, and he had to has had to really work hard on himself, and that personal growth, which and that's what this conference is about. If you're not going to invest in yourself, it's not going to work. You don't think that without personal growth you're going to get anywhere in this business, because you actually can't. You get so far, but you never get to the top or beyond without a lot of personal growth. And as he said, he went to bed with Jim Rohn every night. So personal growth. I'll stop there.
Definitely, that was beautiful, and such in line with what we all agree with as well. So it's so wonderful to have you on and sharing from the heart, and knowing that it's definitely that same path that we want to walk as well. And yes, I, like you and John, have spent many times walking the stage to get that SC recognition, and I used to beat myself up about it. And it's just the journey that I'm on with multi-passionate is my my tagline with the other things that I've got going on. And I think that's where we need to be less hard on ourselves, and definitely have that more compassion. Love yourself first, and give yourself to yourself first. So I'm talking about it all the time in my yoga classes with my mums anyway, to say, you can't fill from an empty cup. So we need to honour that ourselves as well. So thank you so much for sharing. We're going to move on to our next superstar who had a ball on the weekend, and that's going to be Natty. So Natty, have you got a couple of takeaways from the weekend?
Yeah, I've got about 20 pages of takeaways. But, I literally just wrote a few little things down, and they're all very similar as well. And I guess the first thing that really really sort of hit home was the integrity of the company. So that just really solidified my beliefs there in what I'm doing with our team and how we're growing. So just the fact that, the whole mission of, inspiring healthy living across the globe, that was kind of another thing that really interested me in becoming part of our little community, and knowing that still now, that is their main value, that's their mission, and that's my mission, and that's what I want to be involved in. And I'm not growing, at, super rocket pace either, but knowing that we're all kind of doing it the same way makes me feel a little bit more, confident and certain in what I'm doing. And that was another thing, the certainty thing, being certain with what you've got to offer, whether that's a personal thing, offering yourself to people, offering the product to people, or the business, just having that certainty and knowing I can reflect on what was said on the weekend about the company and what, you know, what they're set out to achieve. That really, has made me feel like I'm really on the right path with that. The self-love thing, like Sheila was saying as well, the self-sabotage, I'm very, very, very good at that, and I need to start asking myself better questions, and stop the negative self-talk and stop thinking that I don't have something to offer people, because we've got gold in our hands, and we can, you know, change so many lives. If it's one person's life, and like Susie was saying today with that little live that you put up, that was amazing. And I actually recorded a video earlier this morning because I did not want to go to PT and I was exhausted, and I came back from it and I felt good. And my whole thing was, the thing that you don't want to do is the thing that you need to go out and do. So I went out and did it, and I felt fulfilled after it. So I'm thinking, well, if you can do that with 45 minutes of your day every day, if it's one thing you don't really feel like doing but you know you should do it, go out and do it, and at the end of it you're going to achieve something great. So I think that's a few of my main takeaways. Just the company integrity, really solidified some beliefs, knowing that I am part of one of the most incredible communities and group of women and men. I'm sure we've got a few men around. It's just I'm feeling really, really happy. I'm so glad I went. So that's a few of my main takeaways. Blah 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 blah.
Yay, thanks for sharing that. And I know there will be some similar things for all of us, but definitely that certainty. And to have Cal mentioned before we started that it was that kind of quiet, smouldering, calm certainty that's going to keep you on the path you're on. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that is definitely true. And I think that's why it's been good to come along and attend, to see that, there's the one way that we kind of see a lot, online, the speed of light pace, but then there's the other side of the coin where you've got people like Sheila that's been in, 6 years, and Crocky 19, and others that have been in 12 and 20, and they're there all this time, and you just know that the company's not going anywhere, and we just have to stay true to that. So another one of my bestie, been in 5 years as well with me. So Susie, I'm going to get you to share your biggest takeaways, and I know it's similar. I know we talk all the time, but just share with the team just that beautiful big heart of yours. So take it away.
Thank you. And that's it. You hit the nail on the head, Dee. Like, sitting there with you girls by my side, best mates, there's nothing better than that, being able to create a dream and walk a journey. And, I can't wait for the days. I haven't done a huge amount of travel with it yet because of, little curveball that came along. But I know that's coming as well, and I can't wait for us to start doing the US conferences and get over and have fun doing that as well. So the bigger vision's there for all of that. But, as Natty and Sheila, you both touched on it with John Blair, having him there, and it really took me back 5 years ago when I pulled out all stops to get to the WA conference, my first conference ever. And a lot with network marketing, there's a lot of Chinese whispers around, and I like to, from a bad experience back in the mid-90s with a company, I always was like, no, give me the facts, tell me what's, and I'd check it out coming from the horse's mouth, so to speak, to make sure, what I'm hearing isn't just someone saying something and passed on. And when I got to conference and I heard John Blair speak about our research and everything in WA, it just blew me out of the water. As you know, he's been there since the conception of Juice Plus itself 25 years ago. And it's just amazing to hear the journey straight from his mouth, and also cracked me up, someone that's been on the product for that amount of time, seeing in his 70s, jumping up on stage like a bloody 20-year-old did, straight up there. And it was like, there's not many people at his age that, you know, could do that. And so yeah, that was one of the biggest things. I was so excited. I remember when I saw him on the program, I was tapping, I was like going, oh my God, I'm so excited you get to see him speak. So but the one thing, I guess, that for me, the journey was a real big shift this year, because we've had a lot of conferences. Like, you know, the first one was Dee by herself, then me and Dee, and then Candy came along, and to see us growing as a team, and the last couple of years, seeing you guys that go along for your first time, seeing your eyes light up and seeing that bigger vision is just, it's really cemented the whole, this is not about me at all. And quite often, you know, I let myself get in the way of sharing this gift that we have with other people, because I'm worried, and I worked it out. It's about that fear of judgment, basically. I'm you know, fearful of being judged by other people. You know, I've grown up with that be the good girl attitude, don't make ripples, yet I've also grown up from a little girl being that girl that wants to change the world, and I've never known how to. And just, okay, yep, hit the nail on the head. Here comes the tears. So that knowing that it's a gift, and knowing that I need to get myself out of the way to serve all of you guys, and that in itself is enough for me. I really worked out that for me, even though, yes, I do want that income from this business, that's not my number one. My number one is you guys and community, and sharing, and actually using the personal development that I've done on myself to help lift and raise other people up and help them see the light that we see. You know, you girls, I see such a shining light, and I can't wait for you to step into that power and own it, and be able to bring that, you know, to share with other women. And hearing from John Blair what they were doing, as you said again, Sheila, with Brene Brown in the US. And Dee and I both had an awesome conversation with Bronwyn Hunter about that. She's been privileged to sort of see what that program is that they're using. That made me even more excited, because what the work that Brene Brown's doing, if we can help other women and lift other people up to really step into their true power and be fearless through courage and connection and vulnerability as well. Like, you know, we've been taught our whole lives to shove the dark side down, to shove the parts of ourselves that we don't like down and not show them to the world. But you'll find quite often when you share your story and the stuff that you've struggled with, and the things you've gone through with other people, that is the thing that builds connection with other people, because that's when you're true and raw and authentic. You know, there's no bullshit there when you're talking about that sort of stuff, and it helps other people to connect and stand up as well. So that's mostly, I guess, the biggest part. And just knowing too that it is 80% psychology and 20% action in this business, and that it is all about what's going on in here, because that's going to lead you in the direction that you need to go to create your tribe and bring your tribe in. As you raise that vibration up there automatically, like as Kira said on stage, she has no trouble attracting team or customers into her business, because her mind is at that vibration that it just attracts people in for who she needs to help. So that was like when who was it that said, there's someone out there waiting for you right now that needs your help. And, you know, I've seen it, the stories we hear on our events of the way this product's helped people's health. If you knew it could save someone's life, would you tell them about it? Or would you be too scared about what they're going to think of you? You know? As they say, it's selfish not to share it. So that's my big shift on the weekend. Fuck the fear of judgment. Excuse my language. I know this is being recorded, but I've had enough of that one, and I'm going to put it to bed and stand up and be a light for all of you guys. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm clapping at home. I'm clapping.
Yeah, you're always a light. Always a light for us.
Apologies for the swearing.
Drop the F-bomb.
Yeah.
You rebel.
At least the kids are in bed. They didn't hear it.
Right. If they hear the recording, someone will slip them that. Anyway.
We need to work out with the recordings if we can do little bleeps.
I'll look into that.
Yes.
Get one of the kids on it. They'll probably know the tech to do it. Anyway, moving along, and maybe bleep free, who would know? I'm going to get the beautiful Kelly to share her first conference experience and what it was like being there with a babe in arms, and we all got to have cuddles of the beautiful Tess. So yeah, just a couple of thoughts on your takeaways from the weekend, my dear.
Okay, so I've had a couple of people say to me, oh my God, what was it like? The posting has been crazy on Facebook. And my 2 words have been, it was electric. The feeling in the room was just electric, of so many people with the same feeling, the same intention. You know, it felt amazing and electric to be there. And it was incredible to, you know, hear about our product, hear the core values of our company, and they're still community based, like all the things that we are building, each person individually and creating our team, all of those things are all community. And I was so happy to hear that. We didn't hear any corporate BS about money. It was all about community, and, you know, and globally helping people with their health. So I really did love that. And there was a couple of things that was said that sat with me, and I've gone away and thought about it. And for those of you that don't know, I've done 15 years of hairdressing before this, so I consider myself a pretty good communicator. And I had heaps more unexpected tears than I was planning on. Like, I think I've been doing a bit of work lately, and I was surprised that there was still so many things that come up for me about not feeling good enough or not feeling like I could do it, and all of those things that we think. So I've been doing a few posts on that line, but commitment was one of the words that stuck with me. Commitment, like we've all committed to something. I did a 4-year hairdressing apprenticeship I didn't want to do. I did year 12 that I never wanted to do. I've done amazing things through commitment and just telling myself that I needed to. And I think that I've come away with that now. Like my little thing to myself is 1 hour a day now on Juice Plus. That's my minimum. The one thing I won't negotiate on, because in 5 years that might have been my dream goal. Like, I might be there in 5 years, and it's only an hour a day. Like, we can spend so much time like doing stupid stuff like folding washing or scroll holing on Facebook. Surely I can fit that hour in every day. So commitment was something that I took away. And like I also thought about my previous business. I had no trouble standing in the grocery line and someone make a hair comment, and for me to say, come on up, I'd love to help you with your hair. That just rolled off my tongue. Like, I'd love to help you out. Come up, we'll sit down and have a chat and we'll sort it out. No dramas. And I think I need to just take that over into this, rather than feeling like I'm signing someone up for something, because I know it's the same thing. I can genuinely help them, with their health, and I can genuinely help them with creating a better lifestyle, added income. And I know that I'm still in the trenches part. So I know that the people I'm helping is going to help them in the trenches. So, you know, $500 a month is a lot to someone, or $1,000 a month is a lot to someone that really needs it. And I like the underdog. I like that. So commitment was something that I definitely took away and wanted to sit with. And just a sense of community. Like, after paying I think I paid $300 for my conference ticket, knowing what I got out of it now, I had the comment asked to me, was it worth it? Absolutely. Knowing what I know now, would I have paid more for it? Yeah, absolutely. Would it be next time? It's a non-negotiable. It's just one of those things, I think, that it's like going to get your tax done at the end of the year. If you're in business, you just need to go and you need to hear those people. And I did love all the speakers. You always get something from Linda. She always gives you little something to go away and think about. Like your question of who are you and how can you help people? I think I've come away with caring. I'm a caring person, and I want to see people well, and I want to see them happy in their life. I want to see everyone have that. So they're my little things I've come away inspired with, and I didn't feel like I needed to come home in a panic and gather all my peeps together and terrify them with my new knowledge. But I did feel the smouldering flame of, one person at a time, and as it comes up and it's relevant, that I will just help all my people around me, and it doesn't matter how long it takes them. I will just go back to that drip feeding sense of meeting them where they're at and helping them with what they need to know, and that we're here for the marathon. I was a sprinter in my young days, but I'm going to change over now to the marathon and just keep the little train chugging along and see where I end up at conference next year. So thanks for that, Dee. That's my little add-on.
That's brilliant, and it's so good to hear it all from a different perspective and a different point of view. Is there anyone else on the call, Sheila, any of your girls that are on that said they might have wanted to share any takeaways, if you know, before we continue on? Oh, you're still on mute.
I will. I'm not prepared at all, but my name's Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome. So pleased to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It's actually really nice to I guess meet with people who aren't on the sprint and they are on the marathon, because on the Gold Coast it seems like everyone's running that 42 Ks in a bloody hurry. So
yes.
I've worked with Sheila for 9 months now. Sheila's a good friend of mine. It has become a really good friend of mine as well. We're both Bronte mums, so we live just around the corner from each other. So so it's been a really, really good journey for me. So it's my first conference, and obviously I was pretty overwhelmed with with all of the speakers and I guess just with the whole 2 days. It was amazing. So but probably some of my key takeaways was just probably from a lot was from, I took a lot away from everyone, but probably Kira and Adam's sort of what if journey. Actually, I'll backtrack. Anthony's when he did his whole music situation. I mean, I was in tears. That that sort of grabbed me big time. I'm not even really sure why. It just
well, I think it's just designed to crack you open
deep
on that energetic level. Yeah.
Yeah, and that did for me. But just courage, commitment. I think it was Kelly that spoke about commitment, but having the courage, but also just realizing that this business is actually not just about a product. It's about becoming a leader. It's about empowering other women, men, finding those people that that do need that support and that leadership. And so, I've probably been focusing more on the product in the 9 months that I've been with Juice Plus. So this has almost given me permission, in a way. It might sound silly, but permission to, I guess, to look within myself and look. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. I've always been an open book, and I've always felt like that has been a negative thing. But I've realised on the weekend that it's my most positive asset. And if I can show people the way to have the confidence to be an open book, or to bring out the best values that they have to help someone else, then that's the journey that I want to take. And you know, conviction, you know, no's are not personal, you know, and don't be attached to the outcome. You know, serve the many, stop making it about you. If your fire, if your vision is greater than your doubts, you know, then you need to change it, and it's not going to be easy. So I took a lot away. So yeah, it's kind of life-changing for me, those 2 days, to be honest.
Yes, it definitely
yeah,
can be.
It's really good. I feel like I have a purpose. You know, I've been a mum for 7 years, and my husband we have a building business, so I've always felt like I had to be a part of that, and I'm happy to be a part of that, happy to support, but it's not me, it's not what I've wanted. So
and isn't it just so nice to have your own purpose and your own mission? Yeah And a room full of 1,500 other crazy weirdos that have their own purpose and mission aligned with yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing, Alex. And
will I get the one man to share?
Yes, please do. Jump on, Pat. How you going?
Around.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. So I'll be really super quick, and because you guys are just so insightful, I'm incredibly impressed. Beautiful gold nuggets that you're coming up with from it. But for me, John Holowati sort of summed it up in the sense that if you're jumping into this for the money straight up, but you know, you kind of, it's not exactly what he said, but you're not in it for the right reasons. You've got to find reasons other than money to be part of this mission. Otherwise, you know, you won't stick. I think that's a great message to new people, especially if you're out, you know, looking to bring people into the business. Really, that really summed it up for me. The other thing, obviously, in the theme of John is his humour, and that having not taking yourself too seriously, taking what you do seriously, but not taking yourself too seriously, and just remembering to enjoy the process and have fun with it is just really, really key. And not like we're having fun, you know, and sort of faking, but really genuinely getting out and enjoying it and making it an awesome experience. So yeah, they're my two key ones.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And thanks for bringing that up, Pat, because I think a lot of the time when we're, you know, counting numbers and reports and seeing who we can help on our team and what do they need this week, and, you know, how many people have they spoken to, how many have we spoken to, we really do forget about that fun side of it. And, you know, who wants to go and work it like it's your job? It's meant to be doing it in a way that is good and having fun, and you're grateful to be doing it. So, yeah, to inject more fun in it definitely is such a good thing to be reminded of. And let's all go and be like John, be like Ant.
Be more Ant.
That's a good hashtag, I think, even though people will go, what does that mean? That being
we should create a movement, be more Ant.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Each conference we try and come up with some really funny, weird little hashtag that only, you know, those who are there in the know what it means. So we won't share what some of the other ones have been in other years.
Can I just add a little bit too, Alex? Thanks so much for sharing too with what you said. And just from our point of view, being up here, with the longevity we've had and seeing the boom that's happened and not really being able to detach to it too much, one of the biggest lessons that I think Dee and I have learned is to not compare ourselves. And it's just so important to hold that, I think, as one of your top things, because not only when you start comparing yourself, you start feeling that lack of, but back to that 80% psychology again, it's actually directing your focus to someone else. Whereas you want to bring your focus back to where you're going. And yeah, that's it's been a big lesson for us, I think, Dee, hasn't it, over the last 2 years?
Oh, definitely.
With all the crazy that goes on, and we see people going, I did NMD in 12 months and did heaps of personal development in 6 months. We're like, woo-hoo, we're still going.
Yeah. What, and you finished high school last year? Wow, what an achievement.
Yeah. But it is, and everyone goes at their own pace too. And I think the pace that you go at, like the way I look at it too is I've been able to serve my team better by learning some of my lessons first, rather than having the team on and learning those lessons by, doing it with my team. And it does, it prepares you for what's to come and stepping into the roles that you need to. So it's, I quite often look back and think, I don't think I would have wanted to go that fast anyway. I think I probably would have had a breakdown and it's all too much.
Yeah. And that's some of the stuff that, you know, may happen behind closed doors that we don't see. You know, you've got to do it I always remember, you know, one of our other team coming back from a US conference, and there was a lady who homeschooled 8 children, and she took, you know, 16 years to get to NMD, and she had all of her children up on stage with her, and her motto was do Juice Plus at the speed of life. And that's something that's always stuck with me. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing, because we all have other commitments. You know, most of us are mums and, you know, maybe have other interests or businesses or jobs as well as the house and the kids and the husbands and the dogs. So to do it at the speed of life that suits you is definitely the most important thing. So such good things that we've all shared, and I'm just so blessed to be surrounded by so many amazing people. I just wanted to finish off in just sharing what I loved about Linda's speech and talk, that we all have those seeds of greatness, and when we can bring that greatness to the surface in ourselves and acknowledge it in ourselves, then we can send that on to others. And that's a really big thing. John Holowati sort of touched on it in a different way as well, that when you raise yourself up as a leader and you're learning and you're growing and developing, then, you know, he talked about one of his team members, Katie Ravey, who we all know of her name. She's a better leader than him because she got poured into from whatever John learned and whatever his upline learned. And so as it goes down the line, those team below you that you're helping guide and steer and walk alongside you on that path, they're getting poured into with the knowledge that you've had. And so you're just raising up, you know, bigger and better leaders along the way. And then that's what sets that foundation. So go out there and look at where your seeds of greatness are, and sprinkle some love and water and good fertilizer on there so they start to sprout, and you can share it with your team, because at the end of the day, you know, we're no one without our team behind us to lift us up and support us and kick our butt when we need to. And I know Susie certainly does that for me, and I'm forever grateful. So thank you so much for all jumping on. We'll share this link with you all as well, so you can spread it around to your teamies that didn't get to watch it tonight. And I'm just so blessed to be able to hear all these little nuggets of wisdom as well. And Suze, did you want to say anything in closing?
No, just if anyone's got any questions about anything that they've heard off any of us, feel free to come off mute and ask. But yeah, no, I don't have anything else to add.
We're all good.
Excellent. I was unable to make it, so I'd like to thank everyone for sharing your experience tonight.
Oh, my pleasure, Nicola.
Thanks for that.
It's a pleasure to be able to share and hand down the knowledge, like I just said. Yeah. Lots of gold nuggets, spread it around. Our pleasure. Well, thanks so much for everyone. I'm going to stop recording now.